people are really doing crazy things to try to burn down this goat or steal it. They're just kind of going crazy with it. But it's not always successful. That's why we said with differing rates of success. Maybe some people are successful and some people aren't. Now we use this adjective differing to sort of say that. Now as an adjective, differing is describing many versions of the same thing that are different from each other. So for example here, our one thing is rates of success. And we're saying that there are many different forms or rates of success. Some worked, others didn't. Still others might have worked a little bit, but they weren't successful in the end, that sort of thing.
All right, so the next word we also talk about is the rate, which we use rate of success. So the rate is a measure, a quantity, or a frequency. So usually it's measuring one quantity against another one. So Erin mentioned rates of success, which is also a measure of success. Okay, our example sentence says, the island has the lowest crime rate in the world. So this island has the lowest crime rate means it's really, really safe.
There's not a lot of crime. Yeah. Now, a country with a high crime rate would have a lot of crime, for example. Okay, so people are just trying to get rid of this goat for some reason. It's kind of funny, I think. Here it says, as of 2017, the Yevle goat has been attacked 37 times. That is a bunch.
Yeah.
What? Leave this goat alone. All right, let's look at the preposition as of. Now, we use this preposition to say that something started on a particular date, or we're talking about during a certain period of time. So here, what we're saying is that from 1966 to 2017, the goat has been attacked 37 times. Now, this number will change though, as someone will probably try to attack it again this year. So next year, of course, how we would use this is people would say, as of 2018, the Yevle goat was attacked 40 times, maybe 38 times, something like that.
Yeah. So as of is usually used to talk about some sort of statistics or like an official number.
Right.
All right, so in 2005, for example, it was shot with flaming arrows by two people dressed as Santa and the gingerbread man. Okay. The gingerbread man is another Christmas character, 姜饼人, so we might be familiar with that one.
Right.
All right, so we talked about flaming arrows. The adjective flaming means burning with flames or fire. So blazing, it's really hot. It's usually associated with fire. So if you're flaming, it can also mean that you're very emotional or you're passionate, like fire. Our example sentence, be careful, that tree is on fire and one of its flaming branches could fall to the ground. So we have to be careful so that it doesn't hit us when it's falling.
All right, so they've got these flaming arrows. They're probably shooting a bow like this, and they're trying to burn this goat down. Silly people. But that's not all. They were dressed as silly characters. So it says dressed as Santa and dressed as the gingerbread man, I guess we should say. All right, so when you dress as somebody or something, you sort of wear that person's clothing or costume. So of course, someone dressed as Santa will be wearing a red and white suit with a white beard and a red hat sort of thing, maybe black glasses and carrying a bag full of gifts. And somebody dressed as the gingerbread man would sort of be dressed all in brown and have a big silly face with cookie. He would just look like a cookie, I guess. Yeah. Here's another example. Roger dressed as a clown for his son's 3rd birthday party.
All right, so when we do dress up, we don't just do it during Christmas. Halloween is another fun time. Place to dress up.
Sometimes you just get to have fun parties where you dress up as different things.
Oh, I used to love dressing up as a princess when I was little.
Exactly.
All All right, so the next sentence says, another year, two men unsuccessfully tried to steal the famous display with a helicopter.
Okay, now that is an extreme length.
Wow. So what's a helicopter? It's a big machine, big aircraft with long blades on the top that go round really, really quickly. So it's like a airplane, but a very small airplane, and it is propelled by those blades on top. So it's able to stay up in the air and move straight upwards or downwards. So it's kind of different from an airplane. So the in action movies, we see these exciting scenes where people land or they escape in the helicopters on those secret missions because it arrives really quickly and leaves really quickly.
Right.
Pretty much like we're talking about here, but they failed.
Right, so they kind of flew the helicopter over the goat, and they probably tried to lower down and get the goat, but it didn't work. All right, well, that's a pretty interesting way to try to steal this giant goat, but it didn't work, and it says here, still, in spite of the risks, the Yevle goat returns every December to spread holiday cheer and holiday tricks, I think. All right, it says, we use the phrase in spite of something. So we could just say in spite of a noun or in spite of a verb using ing. So when we use this phrase, we show that one thing has not affected another thing from happening or from being true. So for example, even though people attack the goat, it still appears every year. It doesn't change the fact that the goat comes back, right? So the people in charge of the goat, they're just not affected by these attacks. Or maybe they think they're kind of funny, but they still put the goat up anyways. Here's another example. We're going to hold the meeting in spite of Gary's absence today. So even though he's not here, we're going to have the meeting anyway.
Wow, that was a super interesting story about the Swedish tradition of the Gävle goat. All right, let's move on to our closing for today.
That's our For You chat.